Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to a new movie review. Today, of course, we have to talk about Jigsaw. So in Jigsaw, bodies are turning up around the city, each having met a very gruesome end. And as the investigation proceeds, it seems like all of the evidence is pointing to John Kramer, aka the Jigsaw Killer, being the culprit, even though he has been dead for 10 years. All right, so let's get right into this. So we'll start off with what I liked about Jigsaw. I definitely liked the kills and the traps. I mean, I feel like that's always like the high point of every Saw film. That's what everybody is looking for. That's what everyone's looking forward to, is like, what new ways can you torture these people, and what new ways can you make me sick to my stomach? It's always fun to kind of imagine like how you yourself would react in the situation and how you would handle the traps. So that's always fun. Every Saw movie that comes out, that's what I'm looking forward to the most, and this movie definitely didn't disappoint. It had some really good traps and a lot of really good moments that like make you squirm and cringe. As for like the story and kind of like the continuation of the Saw franchise, I think it made sense, the direction that they decided to go in, but this is going to segue nicely into what I disliked, because I did have just a few personal issues with what they did. So I feel like, and I'm gonna just talk in the most vaguest terms possible, you know how it goes when I'm trying not to spoil anything, which I'm really not going to, so don't worry, you don't have to click away. I'm gonna speak super vague. So basically, as far as the plot goes, I feel like they kind of used that tool or that strategy of kind of going back to like prologue-y type things. Like, this isn't a prologue, don't get me wrong. Actually, I would say it's like maybe 50-50, because they do flash back to a lot of things that supposedly happened before even the very first Saw movie, before the first traps that we ever saw in any of the films. So I feel like when filmmakers do that, though, they're kind of like making an excuse for them to make up their own rules and make up their own crap, like, oh, well, this happened before even the first movie, so it makes sense because you didn't even know about it, obviously, and you're just now finding out, so we can do whatever we want. Like, creating all this stuff that happened long before the first movie, so it's like, well, we can just do whatever we want, we can just make it up, and it has to work because we haven't addressed this before. We're like, the audience is just now finding out about this stuff that supposedly happened way before the first film. I just feel like, and I think it's also because I'm just a little bit tired of all the sequels and the remakes. Like, I'd rather just see a new movie, like a new story, whatever. So I think I was like already just kind of like a little bit annoyed. So it just felt like cheating, you know, like going back to way before the first film. But I mean, logically it made sense to like the present day story that they were also telling. It made sense, but it also seemed like it was a means to an end to keep this series going. So at least the way I saw it, like, I mean, they could easily end it and never make another Saw movie again, and just have it kind of be like a little bit of an open ending. But I feel like the way they ended it, they just kind of created the bridge into making like 15 more Saw films. Like, they can just keep going forever now with what they did at the end. Which again sucks, because, you know, you have like the film previous, which was like the final chapter, which is like, I feel like when filmmakers do that, it's just like, we're gonna call it the final chapter to like pull you in to see the final Saw movie, but then, you know, a couple years later, we're just gonna make more, it's fine. And I also had a hard time with some of the motives of the characters. So obviously we're going back and forth between, like I said, like bodies keep turning up. So we're going back and forth between like the people in the trap, you know, the people remaining as like somebody kind of dies off each trap, obviously, and as the bodies keep turning up. So we're flashing back and forth between like the people left continuing on into the traps and the police investigation, like as each body turns up. So we have kind of two sets of main characters. We have the two medical examiners and the two police investigators who are investigating the murders. Now, for some reason, I don't know if I just missed something. Like, I was paying attention the whole time. I don't know if like I completely missed something or something went over my head, but I kind of just don't understand why the very first suspects in this investigation are the medical examiners. It's like, I don't know, it's like the bodies turn up and they're examining them with the police, like, and they're kind of discussing what they think happened or whatever. And then immediately they're like, oh, well, we're gonna look into this medical assistant, Eleanor, because she seems suspicious. And then it turns out like she has a fascination with Jigsaw or something, which is fine or whatever. Like, obviously that makes her a suspect, but I'm just like, what prompted them to, like, why would you automatically assume it was the medical examiner? Like, why? Like, in what universe, like, when the police bring a body in to be examined or to have an autopsy, like, the police go, well, I think the person doing the autopsy did it. Like, I just didn't understand. I didn't understand, like, why they immediately just started, like, suspecting the the examiners. Like, why? It doesn't make any sense. It just, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if like maybe I missed something went over my head. I was paying attention. I didn't fall asleep. I didn't get up in the middle of the movie. I don't know. It didn't make any sense. So, is Jigsaw worth watching? I'm gonna say no. I feel like though, if you're a huge fan of the Saw franchise, you're probably gonna enjoy it. But if you're kind of like me, who's more like, I really, really, really like the first two films. Like, I really like the first two films, and the rest of them are kind of just like okay for me. Like from 3 on, I'm just like a casual fan. Like, I've seen them, but I don't love them as much. Like, I watched the first two, like I've watched them millions of times, but from 3 on, I'm just kind of like a casual fan. So I think if you're more like me, I don't think Jigsaw is really worth your time. That being said, I'm gonna give it a rating of 2 out of 5. Didn't enjoy it that much. On IMDb, it has a 6.4 out of 10. Tomatoes is really interesting. Critics have given it a 39%, but audiences give it a 92%, which I've not seen before. That's a crazy difference. Normally they're pretty close, but wow. And Roger Ebert gave it a 2.5 out of 4. So if you've seen Jigsaw, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and become a Creepy Peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye!